Hey, look at that beautiful empty chair there. Bryce is on it. Good for you, buddy. 10X Owners Live, you made it. You're back. Thank you so much for joining us once again. My name is Buck Wise. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Cardone Ventures. If you are new to all things Cardone, I welcome you to the Owners Live experience. Let's get my co-host on here, Jared from Florida. I've got a special treat for Jared today. Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good, man. I hope it's a freestyle rap.
You know, it's even better than that, honestly. We've got such a beautiful day here in the Portland, Vancouver area. We actually rigged up our drone so that you could take a live shot, believe it or not. How high can the production value go here? We have a live drone outside right now. Bryce, if we could take the live drone, I'd love to see what it looks like. There it is. And there's the house. So see, we're inside that garage. You can see Mount Hood.
Is this live?
That's live. Camden is flying that drone right over the house. Isn't that crazy?
Man, you guys are fancy.
Dude, super fancy, you know?
I just use this whole Zoom thing and try to figure out how not to have the camera come on when I'm not ready for it, you know?
I love that you just said that. I love that you just said that because I was actually going to ask you to stand up for anyone that's joining us already on Owners Live. Can you stand up for us, Jared? Let's see this. Is he in shorts? Oh, he's in the pants. He's got the pants on still. Okay. I don't know if you saw.
You want to hear something really funny? So this is this is the funniest thing that's happened to me since everybody's been. No, they're not PJ pants.
Okay. Okay.
The funniest thing that's happened to me on Zoom. This should be a hashtag.
Okay.
Like funniest thing on Zoom in the quarantine or something.
Yes,
like that.
yes.
That's too long, but you're the marketing guy. So
yeah, sure. I'll come up with something. Zoom bloopers or something.
Dude, we're getting on a meeting, and it's with a really, really big company.
Okay.
And they have their top 30.
Okay.
Hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Okay.
So we're getting ready to get this big call started.
Yeah.
I swear to God, the one of the executives of the company had come in to the meeting, and we had the gallery view on so that you could, kind of see everybody.
Yep.
And he came on, and I saw his name pop up.
Yep.
And then his camera came on, and he was looking up here like this, like he had a separate screen.
Yeah.
That he was like using the monitor through, but the camera came on over here, and he didn't have a shirt on.
Oh.
In front of all of these people that were in this meeting, all of these big, massive business owners.
Oh, man.
And he went like this, and he went, ugh! And he was trying to figure out, like, scrambling on the computer how to turn his
the Zoom scramble. It's the Zoom scramble.
Oh my gosh, it was the
That's
funniest thing. The funniest thing that's happened on Zoom.
I got one for you. I think it was Good Morning America, GMA. Can we show that, Bryce? Show Jared real quick. By the way, Jared, president of Cardone Enterprises. This dude, he's one of their anchors, anchoring from home. He didn't realize the camera angle. If you go full screen on the Zoom, you can see this.
Oh my God.
He's in his underwear. He has no idea. Dude's live on GMA. He has no idea he's in his underwear.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. So it's a whole new world. Everybody's trying to figure this out and do their thing from home. But anyway, Jared, it's good to see you again. I'm glad that you took some time out to join us. You always give us a little bit of a nugget, a little bit of wisdom before Brandon comes on. I know Brandon's actually out back. He's FaceTiming with GC, and I just laugh. They're like little schoolgirl friends, They're always FaceTiming each other. So, our theme today is restarting. We've got an awesome guest on that's coming up later today, Dr. Gregory Reed, 3 Feet from Gold. Yeah, 3 Feet from Gold. He wrote that book with Sharon Lechter. And so he's going to be on giving some of his inspiration and wisdom today. But we're talking about restarting. Washington is one of the states. So we're in the Dawson Ridge studios, which is his home, essentially. And we're on the Washington side of the Oregon border. And Washington was one of the hardest hit states. And the governor has said, all intensive purposes, we're reopening on May 5th. And so it's like the restart is happening, even in states that were hit pretty badly. You're starting to see people reemerge. And so we've been talking about emergencies and how to prepare and what to do. And you talked about, slingshotting 3 weeks ago. It's like, now it's like do or die. Now it's, if you didn't prep, is it almost too late in your opinion? Or like where are you at with the strategy? I noticed you guys were in the office and you're already organizing, getting ready for people to come back.
Yeah, I mean, any preparation's better than no preparation.
True. Yeah.
So, fortunate for us in our business, we put in a lot of discipline early on to make sure that, the term that's kind of floating is we're doing the same exact thing we're doing in the office. We're just doing it from a different place.
Right.
And that means everything. Communication obviously is a little bit different, but when you look at the stats and you look at the numbers, you would think that we were in the office.
Wow.
So then bringing people back, they're the temperature things on the foreheads. I think we ordered a bunch of those.
You did. Okay.
Masks. Yeah. We're in communication with we're members of the local Chamber of Commerce. We're board members there. And so, go to meetings and get connected with all the we just had a call with the mayor last week and commissioners, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, you build a relationship with those folks in your local business community. It really does help out because they do give you insight and information on what's happening. And because we're connected with the people that are making the decision to open, we want to make sure that we're like, they know that we are, like we had the commissioner and we had 6 tape lined up, trying to show that like we're already thinking through safety precautions and safety measures. But those are just precautionary.
Process, procedure, precautionary. All those things.
Checking the boxes things. For me, like restarting and getting back is going back and getting business. Like getting the cash register ringing again. That's the thing that most people need right now more than head thermometers and face masks and all that stuff, because it's just going to be an inconvenience for a while. You're going to have to deal with it. But most important thing is getting through the fear, getting through the uncertainty, and starting to bring deals in again. And I think that's the thing most people need to plan for right now.
Would you say that some of this, as you mentioned, it's about getting back to business? Would you say that, we were all in this position where we had to, pivot and flex new muscles that we weren't necessarily used to flexing? So would you say that there are some learned, was there anything that Cardone Enterprises learned through this experience that is now going to help you strategically better on the other side? Like now, are you open to doing things a different way? Or was it just like institutionalizing?
Grant likes control. He likes he likes being a controlled environment. He likes eliminating variables. He likes to have predictability in that. And so, for us getting back to the office, our culture is dependent on the people. I mean, that, culture, cult people, like it just, you have to have people for that to really manifest the way that you intend. And, while we do everything we can on a Zoom call, there's nothing like a high five and a slap on the back or, a little trash talk or whatever, like just seeing everybody and being around is just, it creates more for us. So, we kept with our culture, I would have thought that coming in, it would have really been a challenge to keep things going. But I think our culture actually is a lot stronger than we thought it was. And it, when you have strong company culture, it allows you to go through difficult things and challenging things. And I think that we'll come out of this going, it's like we went into Foxborough and beat the Patriots. And now we can check that box and go, hey, we can go into their house and we can go against all odds in cold weather and we can take down the best team.
Totally agree.
So I think bringing that back, I think, is just going to give a lot of people confidence in what we're capable of. But I think we're going to have a lift when we get everybody back together.
I know you will. What's Florida regulations for you guys right now? Are you May 5th as well? I thought you guys were earlier. I thought you were a week before us.
I haven't heard any dates. The last dates that I heard were mid-May. In Aventura, which is where our office is, isn't moving until Miami-Dade does. And Miami-Dade had, it's a concentrated area.
That's right.
And so they're going to be a little bit more precautious. When you're on Dawson Ridge, you could fire off a shotgun and nobody could hear you.
That is true. And that might happen from time to time out here. For sure.
In Miami, you're bumping into people all over the place.
No, you're right. It's definitely concentrated. What's on your mind?
Somebody just posted they opened up golf courses, and I think they're talking about opening up parks and things like that. So they're moving towards that, but they haven't given us the official okay, the safer at home, quarantine, whatever they're calling it. That is lifted, and now you just have to observe social distance. Social distance.
Yep, it's a process. It's going to slowly roll out, but I'm seeing it happen across the country. Jared, as we wrap up, Brandon's getting situated, getting ready for Owners Live. What's on your mind right now? What are you excited about, or what is heavy on your mind? I know Mentor is still a big program that if anybody is not a part of, grantcardone.com/mentor. Is there anything that you wanted to pull your mind share in on?
We've got some really, like, just for us, like selfishly, just for the company, you know, we've got some really great things that are lining up for us. Some really cool, I can't really say, but we've got like 2 big media plays that are in play right now. We've got one monster that's already in play and working. And then we have, you know, our license program is lighting up, and we're getting more and more people on that. So I think we've kind of found the right positioning for that.
Yep.
And the right price point to get people in.
That's awesome. I've joined a few of Richie Dolan's calls, and he's killing the licensing program for sure.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Awesome. Well, Jared, thank you so much as always, buddy. It's good to see you, and I know that you're a busy guy, so carving time out to come hang with me and do the pre-show is always great. Thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. You look great with the tie on, by the way.
See, I told Josh. Josh said, don't do the tie. I said, come on, man. I got to class it up for Jared.
That's a first.
Class it up. All right, buddy. All right,
guys.
I'll see you, dude. So, hey, Greg Reed, Dr. Greg Reed is on the show today, 3 Feet from Gold. He's a co-author of that with Sharon Lechter. He will be with us today. Big guest. Excited for that. Without any further ado, we're going to get to Brandon Dawson here, but let me give you the rules. I'm going to break the rules down real quick. If you're brand new and you have not been to one of these 10X Owners Live program, this is live. It is 5:03 p.m. here on the West. It is 8:03 on the East, and it is Tuesday, April 28th. So you can interact. We want you to interact. We encourage you to engage and interact with us. So turn on your cameras. Number one, we're going to scroll through. I want to see cameras on. You saw Jared. He's just in a t-shirt hanging out in his own Oval Office. I want to see you in your Oval Office. I want to see what it looks like. Have the kids come in. Have hubby. I don't care if you're in bed. Just it's 8 o'clock at night there on the East. Turn those cameras on. Don't spam the comments, or Sheriff Marshal Law Josh Dawson is going to boot you right out of those comments. Nobody wants to buy whatever you're selling right now. Stop spamming the comments. And then the other thing is put the questions, the comments, and the engagement in the chat. Go ahead and start engaging in the chat room. That's what it's there for. This isn't just a place for us to come and share our knowledge. It's a place for you to share your knowledge back with us. We want to receive information and data from you as well. So let's engage, let's interact, let's have fun, let's be respectful with one another, and let's get ready for a big 10X Owners Live starting right now.
Stand by. 1, 3, 2.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners, be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective. How to grow and scale a business, even when caught off guard with something like what we're dealing with right now.
Welcome to 10X Owners Live. Here's Brandon Dawson.
Hey everybody, welcome to 10X Owners Live. I'm so excited to have the show tonight. We are going to get into some really good stuff. You know, I've been getting asked a lot of questions by business owners. We know what we've encountered in the last 6 to 8 weeks, but what's next? So we're kind of in these 3 phases. The oh no, this has happened phase, where everyone's kind of paralyzed and stunned because nothing like this has ever happened before. Now we're in the hold and wait phase. What's going to happen? When is it going to happen? And then the next phase is going to be ready to get back to business and making things happen. Now, there are a lot of businesses right now that are still making things happen. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the businesses that have retooled, refocused, reinvigorated themselves, got down to business, and have been able to take advantage of these times to recalibrate and rebuild in other areas of the business they didn't even think about, because we have so many great success stories. But before we do that, I want to bring somebody live onto this show that I know everyone wants to hear from. How about Uncle G, Grant Cardone? Can we bring him up on the show here? Hey, there he is. How are you, G? I think you're on mute. You guys unmute him?
He has to accept it. Oh, accept the unmute GC.
Accept the unmute GC on your computer.
You see that?
There he is.
Steven, I don't know what you're eating, but it sure looks good.
Get them.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just say that, look, first of all, I want to acknowledge everybody that's showing up here tonight. And, you know, it's like I turned the media on and I'm like, man, there's just like, you got to get ready. You got to start thinking about 2 years of bad news, folks. They're going to puke on you every day if you let them. And while they're puking, the people that are ready are going to go rob the marketplace. They're going to grab market share, they're going to grab customers, and they're going to grab money. So this is an old magic act, you know? Hey, look over here, look over here, look over here, and you missed the trick. So don't miss the trick here. Tricks are for kids. There's economic wealth redistribution. There's not wealth destruction. Wealth is not being destroyed here. It is being redistributed. And the question right now, like all I do every day, I was telling Brandon tonight, he and I spent about 30 minutes on the phone earlier tonight. And I was like, he's like, how you doing, man? I said, well, I feel like I'm pushing on a string all the time. I want to go. There's only so many things you can do, but you got to be sure every day you're doing something to make contacts. Who knows you through this and on the other side of this is going to be extremely, extremely critical. 2, what do they know you for through the process? And 3, can I do something with these people so that I help them and help myself and my company in the process? So it's you know, Greg Reed, Greg's a friend, Greg that you're going to hear from tonight. He and I did some work with the military. Must have been 5 or 6, 7 years ago. If Greg's on right now, he'll tell me when it was, but he's an awesome guy. You guys know that I love Brandon. Brandon's done some things I haven't done. And, you know, I'm hopeful that the people that are here tonight, you, Brandon, and us together are going to do something. The 3 of us as a group, or as more than 3 of us, are going to do something that none of us have ever done before. But the economy will recover. We will forget that this was COVID-19. Could be COVID-19, 91, 24. Who's going to know? Promise you, nobody will remember the name of it. And you will get through it. We want to help you get through it on the other side. We've already committed to a hotel today for a July event, an August event, September event, and October event. I've already called Mandalay Bay in Vegas. Hey, I'll be there in 2021. I'll be your first event of the year. Well, we don't know if we can commit. I can commit. Why don't we just commit and see what happens? Because I'm going back to business. And I expect there's 278 people here. You've already made a decision to survive this and how you're going to survive it. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Grant. I appreciate you being here and always keeping us accountable and keeping us inspired, for sure. Awesome. I'm so excited to add to what Grant's saying. Greg is a co-author of a book that I absolutely love. And his co-author on this book is a very dear friend of mine, Sharon Lecter. Greg, let's bring you aboard. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about here, because I think we got some good stuff coming. Greg is going to be joining us in just a second here. Is he ready? Let's bring him up. All right.
Hi, Grant. Good to see you, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
perfect. Grant's on. I'm on. Brandon. This is Brandon. So tell Grant, remind him when you guys work together.
Yeah, it was the first time we ever met. We did an event at the Pentagon, of all things.
Wow.
And we went out and talked to the military generals about the transitioning of the soldiers. Once they've done their time, how do they go to civilian life? And Grant came out and shared some words of wisdom about, look, the fact of the matter is you got to get rid of the lingo that you use in, the military workplace, and you got to use modern terminology so people can know your talents and skills. On the same note, the government spent millions of dollars training these people and giving them these amazing tools, and they had an upper hand to go out and use it. And we just went and shined some light on that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, you're business partners or co-authors with Sharon Lecter, and she's a dear friend of mine, and you guys have some special announcement coming out here with 3 Feet from Gold that I'm very excited about because I absolutely love that book. I think it's a perfect topic for tonight's show. So why don't you share with everybody what's coming out with 3 Feet from Gold?
Yeah, so originally we did 3 Feet from Gold and came out in 2008, The Other Economic Challenge. And right now they're re-releasing it to a worldwide audience. And it's a good timing once again. It's a story about R.U. Darby, the gold miner from 3 Feet from Gold story in Think and Grow Rich, where he gave up 3 feet away from the largest strike in history. And the moral is, how many times have we or someone we know quit a class short from a degree or sales or marketing or didn't make that extra phone call? And it's the people that come out on top that we tell the stories about, went that extra mile and separated themselves from the others. And I got to tell you right now, that's what we need to be hearing, because people are so, living in this fear of the unknown. We've never seen it before. When they did Think and Grow Rich, the biggest chapter was called The Six Ghosts of Fear. It was all based on fear. And Hill talked 100 years ago about the fear of loss of love and the fear of old age. And we believe in today's society, it's the fear of pain, it's the fear of the unknown. But the biggest one is the fear of judgment, criticism, what other people think. And there's a bumper sticker that says, what would you do if you couldn't fail? The big question is, what would you do if you stopped worrying about what other people are thinking? And the big news flash is no one's thinking about you. They're dealing with their own situation. So right now is the perfect time. If you ever had the idea for a book or a movie or a play or starting a new business, pick up the phone, reach out to the contacts that you have, and you'd be amazed the collaborations that can come your way. That's
awesome. And I think that with all that's gone on in the last couple months, I think of 3 Feet from Gold. In normal circumstances, I deal with businesses that struggle through growth cycles. They get up to their comfort zone. They maybe try to stretch. They get beat back a little bit because they technically didn't do things right, or they maybe hired the wrong people or got the wrong guidance and advice. 3 Feet from Gold for me has always been about the increment, fighting through the increment, the staying power, the granular ability to stick in there and just work a little bit more diligent. But the book also talks about when you're technically aware, when you're educated and study how to do things, you can do it more efficiently and more effectively. And to me, that's what I love, because I think a lot of business owners are out digging. I use this analogy. You buy 1,000 acres, somebody tells you there's gold. You drive around, you pick a spot, and you spend all your money digging a hole. And then you're disappointed because there's nothing there. Or you hire a company to come in and test 50 test pits and spend a third of your money doing that, taking the best 3 test pits, spending another third of your money, and then taking the best one and going after it. And in business, to me, a lot of business owners are just driving around going, this seems like a good spot, and I'll anchor in here. And they find mild success, but they're so close to this massive success, but they don't quite get there. Do you agree with that analogy?
Yeah, and it's like anything else. There's 2 sides to a coin, right? So I'm working on a new project right now called Be Kind to Your Future Self, about incremental growth. Because look, the bottom line is, if you want to be 20 pounds lighter for summer season, you got to put down the cheeseburger today. And if you want to have a little bit more wealth, all you got to do is put $20 in a shoebox every morning, and then I guarantee in 6 months you'll have a box full of cash. So it's all how you look at it. And on the same note, I've realized it's the adaptability and the flexibility of people that succeed. I did a book called Think and Grow Rich, Stickability. I've been published now in 100 books, 45 different languages. And after 3 Feet from Gold, stickability was a great one. And I interviewed a guy named Marty Cooper, who invented the cellular phone. And he said, stickability has to be parallel with flexibility. He says, if you can't adapt and adjust, you get stuck. And told the story about a spider monkey. He said in the rainforest, it's so quick and nimble, you can't catch it or harpoon it. But one hunter figured it out. He took a heavy log, drilled a tiny hole, dropped a peanut inside, left it at the base of the jungle. The monkey would smell the nut, come down from the tree top, reach his hand in, grab a hold of the nut, and his fist becomes so big he can't pull it back out and become anchored to the log. All he's got to do is let go, but he thinks that nut is nutrition, so he holds on with dear life. The hunter comes by an hour later, captures the elusive spider monkey. The big question is, are you holding on to your own nut right now? But it could be in the form of that old job or fear or guilt or a car or a deal. And what we think is saving us, so we're holding on with dear life, could also be the thing that's leading to our own demise. Sometimes we have to have the courage and the fortitude to simply let go and adjust and adapt so we can live to fight another day.
Oh, I love that, because that is exactly, you know, I've just with Grant and I in the last 9 months working with hundreds of businesses that have let go of that nut and stepped away and realized, gained perspective of the situation, and then said, I'm still going to get the nut, but I'm going to do it differently. And then Grant and I are showing them how to do it, and they're just crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, you see that in everyday workplace. Look at, when I grew up, there was a store called Toys R Us, and they just went bankrupt, right? And yet they never adapted, they never adjusted. Think about it. If they would have become the Comic-Con of games, and they would have started the Lego Building World Championships, well, guess what? If they adapted and adjusted with the time, Toys R Us would have lasted forever. But the bottom line is you got to adapt and adjust. I'll tell you one other quick story. The founder of Chick-fil-A restaurants, it's in 3 feet from gold. I went to him, I said, hey, I want to be a billionaire like you. What do I do different? And he looked at me and said, that's easy. Stop planning. I go, what? I go, that goes against everything I've ever learned. He said, last year you had a lot of plans. I go, yeah. He goes, how did that work out for you? He says, you'll hit a goal because you're scrappy, but how it came to fruition didn't go as you expected. He goes, look for and capitalize on unexpected opportunity. He says, if I'm sitting on the sofa in my living room and I want to get to the end of the street, I have to take action to move towards my goal. A planner is going to plan every step, or they're going to pause, avoid the sprinklers. I'm looking at opportunity. Did a kid leave a skateboard or a bicycle out to make my journey shorter? If I get lucky, I'll wave down a neighbor driving by and hitch a ride to the end of the street. He says, either way, I'll get to my goal and my destination. I'm just not so caught up in exactly how it has to happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, you know, Grant talks about that in the 10X rule, just absolute massive action. You know, take don't overthink it. Get the ball rolling, create momentum, and then figure it out as you go along versus trying to pre-plan it and then never actually taking action.
Absolutely.
What are you seeing with entrepreneurs? What word of advice or piece of advice would you give business owners right now, or individuals who are high performers who are stuck on the sidelines because they're kind of forced there, they're ready to go, but they're also, you know, fairly, maybe they have some emotion about the fact that they can't get going and they're dealing with some negative things. What piece of advice would you give people?
You know, we're all in the same situation, but I do realize that I am like I'll call it a racehorse. I'm like in the back stables and I'm still working out and I'm still running laps and I'm still eating healthy and I'm still putting myself in the position. So when those gates open, I'm going to be going. I'm going to be fast and furious. So what I've been doing is being kind to my future self and laying a foundation. So when the dam breaks, everything, I'm going to be, prepared in that spot. But I am going to give one little bit of insight that I learned throughout this process. It comes from that book, and it's called Seeking Counsel and Not Opinion. The guy who created string theory told me, he said, successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. Opinions based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, or inexperience, like all your family, friends, or golf buddies who've never done what you want. Counsels based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship, people who paved the way. If you go to a family friend and say you're going to write a best-selling book, they might talk you out of it if they've never written a best-selling book. If I go to Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup, he'll say, hey, Greg, before you get started, here's what you need to know, and give you counsel based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. John Schwartz said, if we would spend our activities only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinion, that's a day your life would change. So right now is the perfect time to stop listening to all that rhetoric and noise out there and surround ourselves with people that are getting the results we want by having the courage to ask them to show you their proven track record before you do business with them. And that is something that I'm implementing in my daily life now. So if someone wants to teach me how to write a best-selling book, I'm going to say, awesome. Show me your 25 best-selling books. If I go to Barnes & Noble, can I pull them off the shelf? If I want to learn pet grooming, same thing. I'm going to find people who are the world authorities. And I think that's the key moving forward.
That's great wisdom. I mean, and that, for most people, that we gain that wisdom through our own experiences of listening to the wrong people as we've grown up. I love the future self concept, because I talk a lot about past self, present self, future self. A lot of people are hesitant to make decisions today because they lack the confidence in their current self or their present self, because they made so many bad decisions in their past self and they can't let go of the concept. They don't literally trust themselves. So when you think about your future self and reprogramming your present self so that you can grow into the thing that you've always wanted to become, what would be your wisdom and guidance for people who are stuck right now, afraid to make good decisions because, unfortunately, they made some bad decisions in the past?
Well, first of all, understand this. You actually have a 100% success rate. Think about it. You have overcome 100% of every challenge and obstacle that's come your way. You're batting 1,000%. Every time, I don't know about you, but I've crashed my car, I got a better car. And every time I've lost a house, I got a better house. Every time I got divorced, I got a better wife, right? So to me, every time I see a big pile of horse poop, I just know there's a pony somewhere, right? So the whole idea for me is I actually learned to embrace those challenges and the setbacks that we went through because they made me smarter. Look, in 2008, when we had the other economic collapse that's coming our way, I didn't take as great advantage. I wasn't positioned to. So what happened is the last 2 years, I was listening to my billionaire friends. So I focused on credit and I got my credit up to 800. And then I realized rather than go buy a bunch of real estate at the top of the market, I started dumping cash into an account. So now I realized we were going to have an offset. I didn't expect this, obviously, but we knew there was going to be adjustment. So I'm prepared now from, work I did a year ago to go capitalize on it right now.
That's great advice. So this is the point where we open it up. We have, how many people do we have on the show tonight? 300 people with us, so that's exciting. And what I want to do is open it up for questions. You're welcome to stay. Would love to have you. If you need to do something, you're welcome to say goodbye to everybody. I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to stay or do you?
I'm going to hang out.
All right, that's
Nice.
wonderful.
Awesome.
We always love having you hang out with us. So why don't we open it up to questions and Buck?
Yeah, why don't we do a quick audience activity? I'm thinking since the theme tonight is restarting and you guys are talking about your present self and future self, what about this? The way you do what you do as we restart. And Brandon talks about this a lot. There's 3 different ways you could approach this. There's the hard way, right? That's doing work that you don't understand or without a strategy. That's the strategic readiness way. That's understanding the research, but you're waiting for the moment. And then the third way is maximizing explosive growth in value. And the question I want everyone to be prepared to answer, we're going to just Russian roulette and come to you, is which way are you prepared to take this rebound, this restart?
Great. Who do we got?
All right, who do we go with first? Let's see, spin the wheel. Why don't we go with Sam? Can we do Sam McGaw? Let's do that. Let's pull Sam up. And then the rest of you, let's get ready. We'll go with Sam first. And we'll start, raise your hand, mention in the comments that you're ready. If you do have a specific question, you can put those in the comments as well for either Dr. Gregory Reed or Brandon Dawson here. Oh, Sam left? Okay. Let's do Ben Beard.
Here.
Oh, Sam is there.
I'm here.
Oh, he is.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, buddy.
man.
All right, we're looking for you.
You got me?
Gotcha.
Okay, good. So first of all, the thing.
Oh, I'm breaking up. Sam, get on that LTE. Hey, it's a live show, guys. This is why we do it live. Let's go Ben Beard. Let's try Ben Beard here. We lost you, Sam. Sorry, buddy.
Can you hear me?
We got you. How are you, man? Thanks for coming to Owners
Great.
Live.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is awesome.
Very cool.
I would say I'm working to try and maximize my results as soon as we're out of this thing.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you actually have been sitting on some of my private roundtables and working with us. You've been doing that for the last 3 weeks on the Scale Up program.
So I've been part of the Scale Up program since Growth Conference. Been on all these Owners Live calls.
How's the Scale Up program specifically helping you right now?
It's a lot of really in-depth. I kind of expected it to be more like Grant's mentor program and a lot of group interaction, and it's not as much of that. It's a lot more in-depth in my own mind. I mean, there's a lot of things I could talk about what I'm learning, but it's not about learning so much as just going through and really understanding myself and my desires and understanding what I need to do in my business and doing it. it's not just learning and sharing and talking with everybody else. For me, it's been a lot of introspection and a lot of getting a lot of clarity, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I enjoy having you in it. And when you have all the questions and then you get those questions answered, how helpful has that been for you during these periods of time?
It's been awesome. I think you and I spoke 3 times last week, Brandon, on different calls, and that was
Yeah, you were on
fantastic.
all my channels. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then I got another 5 or 6 questions answered on the Cardone Ventures board from, I don't know if those were from you or just from the team or whatever, but very valuable answers, and it's been super helpful.
Well, it's nice to have a team of experts across all perspective of the business. So when you ask a question, you can get hit back with it. Here's what you do. Here's how you do it. This is the fastest methodology. Great having you part of the team, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
So let's pull up Tucker. Tucker has a question. Tucker Y has a question. While we pull up Tucker, Bryce, could you take that live drone cam out back from our Dawson's Ridge studio? I want to show Brandon this view. There's our house.
There's my house.
And there we are right there inside
There's Mount Hood.
garage.
There's Mount Hood up the river.
So this
and
is
there's
our view.
garage. Yeah.
Yep. So that's where we're sitting in the garage. You just saw the drone fly right over us there. Hey, Tucker, you have a question for Brandon or Dr. Gregory Reed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go for it.
So thank you guys for your time. So right now I'm quite young, 25 years old, and I've got a great opportunity to quit my job and kind of just go all out in a field that I've been selling a lot of product in, commercial real estate finance training programs. And I kind of just want to jump. I've got 6 months of operating capital and, no obligations. And I want to use this time more effectively. And so kind of Dr. Reed, what you said earlier just resonated with me about going for it, taking action and not planning. And I'm more of a planner. So what are your thoughts about that?
You guys, Dr. Reed on there?
Yes. I took myself off. So first of all, congratulations. You've done what separates you from the 95% who dream of success to that top 5% who actually achieve it, like I said on the promo for this, because you took those daily actions and were kind to your future self to position yourself right now. Understand this, more millionaires and billionaires will be coming out of this than any time in history, and you position yourself in a great place. So I say congratulations, and I say you go for it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and I look, if you've been disciplined enough to build up 6 months and you've had this plan and you feel like you're ready to execute on it, I agree. It's like there's never a better time because you got the real estate, you got all these businesses, all these people that are looking to get better or to be more impactful. Now, if you have the confidence in what it is you're doing, that the marketplace is ready for it. Like it's a timing issue. If you feel like it's getting ready for it right now, there's no better time to pursue your dreams than, especially when you've been disciplined enough to build up 6 months worth of living.
Yeah, confidence comes from competence and competence from confidence, and you just got it all in spades. It's time to act. The thing about the law of attraction is you got to think it, you got to feel it, but ultimately you got to get off your backside, you got to take action and do it, and that's the stage you're at. So congrats.
10X action. Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Great question.
Yeah, great. Stephanie, I believe Stephanie just had a one-on-one with you, Brandon.
Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Brandon. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I would love, there's so many people that are on this show that are going it alone and that are, they're doing it what I call the hard way. And they're such fabulous people and they're part of this community because they want to 10X their life personally, professionally, financially. You called me, I don't know, probably a month ago, and you were in a state of emergency, I would call it. Would you share your experience a little bit by having us work directly with you, with my whole team, so that people understand there is a resource for them?
Yeah, absolutely, Brandon. So about a month ago, I was in a severe state of panic. I own a healthcare consulting company, as many of you can imagine. Because hospitals and healthcare companies were really focusing on the pandemic response, our business overnight changed dramatically. And we experienced a 50% drop in revenue, and I was really trying to figure out what we needed to do. So I started to join the roundtable conversations and get involved in the group. And the first thing that I did was really mimic the response happening with Cardone Ventures and within Cardone Enterprises, and took a step and looked at my overall team. And I really categorized everyone. And based off of these calls that I was participating in, one of the questions I asked early on was, how do you identify the right people on your team? And I took the advice and counsel of really building that out so that I understood the beliefs, the operational effectiveness, and those components of everyone, and categorized them into my 3 buckets. I decided what to do. I took the bottom bucket, and then I came back to the question the next time and asked, how do you make changes to your team remotely? How do you hire and fire remotely? What do you do to furlough? And I had that question then answered, I believe, by Natalie and yourself, Brandon. And I took that information back, and I took the steps to change my team, and I furloughed and made the changes to the team possible. And then I came back to the table and asked about the inflection points and the breaking points, because my business has really been stuck between about $1.5 and $1.8 million over the years. And I really wanted to understand what I needed to do to push beyond that. So the next step was we built out that break point, and now we're working together to really understand the financial goals. I'm building out my PPF goals of the personal, professional, and financial goals. I've instilled the remote team meetings. We all meet at 8:30 in the morning based off of the recommendation from this group. We train on 4 Cardone University segments, and I was able to use that routine to actually identify the team members that needed to go. So I've used all of this to really take my business from a point where, frankly, I wasn't sure if we were going to survive 1 to 2 weeks, to where right now I'm quite confident that we're going to have a solid 4 to 5 months moving forward, and I can really come out of this and emerge from the pandemic response igniting on all cylinders.
That's awesome, and I think that's what I love about Greg's book. You know, the 3 Feet from Gold. I mean, when you and I started the dialogue, I realized you guys were so close to those breakthroughs, but the technical aspect of aligning your team, understanding the segmentation of your clients, and doing the right technical things to communicate the right way your value proposition to the right people, so that you can streamline your energy and efforts and work smarter, not harder. And you just did exactly what we said. And now all of a sudden you're in this cycle, and you went from this massive kind of like shutdown panic almost to you're reinvigorated. And when I talk to you, you're like, I'm so ready. Like, I just think it's important for people to hear that, because if you don't have that network, that's the network that Grant has created with the Mentors program, with the 10X program that we're doing, with the 10X Live, the 10X Owners, the 10X Employees, the 10X Scale Up. All these programs are in emergency mode to offer support and assistance to help all of you. Do you have any questions for our special guest here?
I actually do, and I would like to just mention that I just finished reading the book today, 3 Feet from Gold, and I started putting down my 10 points that I need to discover my passion. So I'm just starting that process. So thank you. It's been a great read over the last 2 weeks.
And who recommended that book to you?
You did. Absolutely, Brandon. Of course.
A cheap plug. Hey, Greg, I'll always take a cheap plug.
And there's something you said, something that was so powerful that I think people should really pay attention to. The greatest thing that we can do is honor our mentors by taking massive action and then reporting back with feedback of the results you're getting, and then ask for the next bit of feedback. And that's what you did, which was spectacular. When I wanted to become a public speaker, I went to Les Brown and said, would you just give me one nugget, something I could do different to improve my game? He did. I hunted him down a month later, said, hey, thanks for that tip. Here's what I did. What should I do next, sir? He was so shocked, because no one's ever done that he gave me the next tip and the next tip, till now he calls me for tips. But the moral is that you did exactly that. You didn't just receive counsel and advice and input and directives. You actually took action and you applied those. And that's the greatest way that we can honor our mentors, by doing that. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. And this group has made a big change for me. But this question can actually be answered by either one of you. Earlier you mentioned that, one of the things you have to do is really seek counsel. So in addition to seeking counsel compared to opinion right now, what other 2 or 3 things do all business owners need to do to ensure that we're appropriately restarting and capitalizing on the current situation, so we can come out of this as strong as possible?
Yeah, I know we're going to both have some great ones on this. I'm just going to offer one. And this is very powerful. This changed my entire life the moment I started applying it. It's called CPC, Clues, Patterns, Choices. It's from my book called Wealth Made Easy. And I realized that this is the whole key to personal growth in your life and business and your personal life. And it's about accountability and responsibility for everything that happens. Stop blaming other people. And CPC is simply applied means clues, patterns, choices. Example, if I go out on a first date and I'm a single guy and she shows up 20 minutes late, that is a clue. If I go the second, third date, she's 20 minutes late each time, there's a pattern. Now it's my choice whether I deal with it, adjust it, break up with her, whatever, but it's not her fault. She's just late. It's not my job to change her. The same thing is how many times have we heard someone with a bad reputation in business, they'll cheat a friend of ours, we'll do business with them thinking it'll be different this time, and then we're mad at that person when things go awry. It's the same thing as seeing a rattlesnake rattle, bite your little sister, and then you pet it and it bites you. You can't be mad at the snake. It's about accountability and responsibility and lifting your head and starting paying attention to those CPCs that are around our life every single day.
Love that.
That's great. I think for me, I agree 100%. You know, my 6 core values: inspiration, discipline, accountability, alignment, transparency, and results. I live and die by them. I use it in every type of everything I do. As you guys that follow me know, I speak about it in every sentence. I try to incorporate those 6 words everywhere that I can. And what I would say to business owners to get ready for the restart is a very simple exercise of taking out a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, when you started your business originally, I want you to just go back to those amazing moments when you did whatever you did at the beginning. And from then to now, up until this moment, all the amazing decisions you made, what the impact was, how you felt about it, and if given the opportunity, when you take advantage of it, you're gonna do it even bigger. On the right side, I want you to write down the things that you would look in reflection and say, these were mistakes. Maybe I didn't build my cash reserves enough to weather a situation like this because I just didn't know to expect it. Maybe I hired some of the wrong people that weren't pulling for the team, and I spent an inordinate amount of time supporting them versus the people that are loyal and working hard. Maybe I should have had better process in place with some things I've ignored. Maybe I should have painted my restaurant or fixed up my building or cleaned it up or thrown stuff out. Like, whatever that is on the right side, here's what I'd suggest to you. Make a commitment to yourself to exemplify and magnify everything on the left side, and then make a commitment to yourself that you are not going to repeat any of the things on the right side, and just make that commitment. I will not do, if these were areas that I made mistakes or I suffered or I didn't plan well enough, do what Greg talked about. Do what you're doing here. Find mentors who are experts in those categories. Now, we believe in the Grant Cardone environment that between myself, Grant, Buck, Mike Halloran, my CFO, Natalie with people, Jared, Sherry, like we have such a diversified group of experts that are builders. And Grant has forced us all to deliver how we do it into bite-sized nuggets. That's the beauty about Grant. He's very disciplined about that. But don't repeat the things on the right side, because this is an opportunity to redo, rebuild. And if you are already remotely successful, then you're going to be unbelievably successful. And then take massive action as soon as, like Greg said, he's pent up, he's ready to go. We're all pent up, we're ready to go. As soon as those gates open, go exemplify and 10x everything on the left side and make a commitment you're not going to make the mistakes on the right side. And because that's a blind spot for you, commit to yourself to develop in those areas so that you can be stronger going forward.
You know, and I'm noticing a new thing too that's going back to old school, like our grandparents would talk about, is about collaboration over competition. And I'm finding this to be one of the coolest outcomes of this. I'll give you an example. For the first time in the history of the planet, scientists from China are talking to the scientists from Russia, and they're talking to Ethiopians, and they're talking to people from Paraguay. And sure, we will come out with a vaccine for this, situation, but they might also find the cures to AIDS or cancer because one person's sitting on something that they've never talked to the scientists that are missing this element. Same thing in our business. I realized that there's so many opportunities to collaborate that we've never done before. I'll give you an example. If I owned a pizza shop in a little strip mall, when I opened up again, I might go over to the local liquor store and say, hey, I'll make you a deal. You put my little flyers out on the cash register. So when people buy a 6-pack, they get a discount on my pizza. And when I send out pizza boxes, I'll put a discount for liquor to go to your place. And what'll happen is you'll start seeing more of this collaborative effort. So people work together, just like the good old days.
I love that. That is, there are so many grassroots strategies to dominate micro markets. If you collaborate with other business owners, collaborate with the Uber drivers, give them the free whatever, if they drop your menus off and every delivery that they make, like be creative and be unique and have fun with it. That's the business owners get too serious, man. Have fun with it. Do the things you used to do when you first got in business. Who's up next?
I have to say really quickly,
Yeah.
I can't believe 10X Owners Live is a free program. Please comment if you are taking notes and enjoying and benefiting from the knowledge from Dr. Gregory Reed and Brandon Dawson tonight. It is just the amount of information that I'm soaking up from both of them together is just surreal to me. So please comment if you're appreciative and you're loving this. Also, if you're new to 10X Owners Live, Stacy Connor, we're coming to you in just a second. But if you're new and you're hearing about these scale-up programs and 360 programs and Cardone University, then I wanted to really quickly just, if we could take 5 seconds
Sure.
and showcase what are these programs that these business owners are having such great success with. We have a very special offer for businesses that want to take advantage of all 4 of these different products. You've got your 10X Scale Up Workshop. That's a 12-week online course. And Brandon, the 10X Scale Up Workshop really, this is what we were talking to Ben Beard about, and Sam was talking about this as well earlier. That's really a program to help anyone at any level understand the fundamentals of taking a business and scaling it, right?
Yeah, and it's not just, look, if I'm a high earner and I work for someone else, and I want to add even more value coming out of this so I'm more valuable to that business owner, you would want to maybe take this program because it teaches you, look, I've hundreds of acquisitions, franchise organizations, 2 or 3 startups I've done using my own cash, never borrowing money, never taking on any debt, sold my last business, as you know, for $150 million after generating $50 million of profits, and all that was organic. Like I never borrowed any money or accessed a credit line. There are different ways to do things. And what I've done is distilled these programs down so you as a human being can understand the technical aspect of growing and scaling, replicating, duplicating, and massive expansion. But if you don't put these foundations in place, then when this rebound happens, you will be just as ill prepared if you haven't done it yet. And if you're somebody that works for someone to bring this knowledge into an organization and be able to expand in the organization personally, professionally, and financially, even experimenting on all these concepts for somebody else's business until you gain the confidence. And I think the one thing Greg and I would say is, and Grant, most of our experiences come from trials, tribulations, errors, mistakes, but having unbelievably great mentors who have shepherded us to success. And this is my opportunity to bring that to anybody that wants to be an overachiever and learn the technical aspect of how to do that.
So you get the Scale Up program, and included with that Scale Up program and learning from Brandon and the rest of the team, you get the Grant Cardone Sales Training University. If you are trying to train your sales team to be the world-class leaders in sales, this program is offered as a package now. Plus Roundtable tomorrow at noon Pacific. We do something called the 10X 360 Roundtable where you get direct access to Brandon to ask your questions and then engage with other business owners succeeding and meeting the same challenges that you're going through. Plus assistance with the U.S. Small Business Administration and all of your loan and financial questions, all offered for $49.95. This is a program that you're hearing success on. We're going to talk to Stacy Connor here in just a second, who's also a part of this program. But if you would like to have, this is a $100,000 value to have a one-on-one with Brandon. But if you call Josh Dawson right now, this is his phone number on the screen, we're going to give it to you as a part of the program if you purchase this full package, $49.95. Call that number. First person to purchase the package tonight. We did this last week. It was great. We ended up having 3 people that were just so dead set on getting that one-on-one with Brandon that we were like, okay, we're going to give 3 away. So the first call to 503-383-9077.
We're missing a digit, guys.
One number missing. 77. There's 2 7s at the end. There, we got it. 503-383-9077. That number right there. That's the number you want to dial if you purchase that full package, $49.95. You're going to get, that I like it when you flash it, that's great. You're going to get that one-on-one coaching session with Brandon. Let's get back to it. Stacy Connor, thanks for coming so much. Stacy, we even had a great conversation just a few days ago, I believe. Was it AJ that I was talking to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Stacy, we were working through some marketing solutions with Stacy as she navigates coming out of this. And Stacy, what's your question for Brandon and Greg tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. So a couple of things. You guys have been giving me good advice since the beginning of this, and I've been following it, and it is paying off. So we had a nugget of advice a couple of weeks ago. We took it, and my team this week, I want to share with you the success the team did. This week they performed 40% higher than the week before with less people.
That's great.
Yes.
So, and that was your advice. Again, all of these things, I was at a point of panic at the beginning. I didn't know what to do. I was very concerned about the future of the business. And that's when we had our conversation. And every piece of advice you've been giving, I've been picking up. So my question for you guys is, Grant last week said that you're going to survive no matter what. That's the choice. You are going to survive. Your choice is whether you're going to survive well or not well. And then, Brandon, you're always saying pick your mentors very, very carefully. And so in seeing what happened this week with the people that we chose to surround ourselves with and the results that came from that by choosing the right people to have on the team moving forward, it made such a huge difference. What are the key criteria that you both use to pick your mentors and the people that you choose to be around? Because there's lots of people that we all like. I mean, but they may not be the right ones giving us our good advice. So I'd really like to hear how you guys choose those best people to be around for the future.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'd like to go first on that one. And the whole key is this. First of all, understand this. We can have multiple mentors in our life.
Yep.
So my key element is who is getting the exact results that I want for myself. And here's the word, today. So for example, I got a great tennis mentor who teaches me by backhand, but I don't ask them financial advice. And the same thing is I don't go to my accountant for, speaking counsel. I go to people that are doing it. So we can have multiple mentors in our life. The key element, no matter what, is who is getting the exact results that we want for ourselves today. I'll give you an example. One of my dear mentors and friend is the guy who started Chuck E. Cheese. Now, if I was going to start a restaurant line, as successful as he has been, he did it 40 years ago. So I'd probably go who's doing In-N-Out or Five Guys or something of this nature and ask them what they're doing in today's blueprint. So the secret of success is to surround yourself with people that are doing what you want for yourself today. And then understand this, the most successful people are also the most available people. Don't be afraid to reach out. In your cell phone, we've got 80% of every single thing we need. We met that person at a networking event and waited for that perfect time to call them. Right now is that perfect time to reach out. You'll be surprised how fast they'll reach back. And by the way, this deal, I had no idea what the value proposition was going to be on this thing. I don't sell anything this inexpensive for this type of value. So it is absolutely insane. I'm thinking to myself, how do I get part of this program? It's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This is for our community. And I'll be honest with you, Greg, this is Grant's commitment. This is all new to me. Grant is on his core team every day. What are we doing today? How are we doing it better? How are we doing it bigger? How are we doing it faster? How are you ensuring what we're doing is working? Like, he's a beast. So what you see behind the camera like this is the same thing he does to all of us. And so it's look, I want to address this. I think this is really such an important thing, and I agree 100% with what Greg just said. A couple things that he said before too, so I want to tie it together. For me, I've had so many mentors. Some are people that I had personal relationships with that were billionaires, that were acquirers of business, and I learned to acquire businesses and learn how to do due diligence and raise money and go to Wall Street and all that stuff. Some were authors that I read their stuff. John Maxwell, Jim Collins, Sharon Lechter, Michael Gerber, and go through that list. What made them mentors to me isn't that I read their book. What made them mentors to me is that I believed at some point I actually knew their work for that particular book better than they did because I lived it. So fast forward to what Greg was saying, when you see a mentor and you're like, hey, if you run up and say, I want to get a picture, I read your book, it's just so great, you're mentoring me, they're gonna be like, okay, fine. But when you walk up and say, when I took this piece of information from you and I used it and this happened, it changed my whole perspective, it changed my whole life. Like Dr. Robert Anthony in Beyond Positive Thinking. I met him, we were just in passing, a friend introduced us, and I said, your book changed my life. And he stopped and he said, oh yeah, tell me how. And I told him how. Chapter 1, chapter 12. And he was like, dude, nobody knows my work like that. All the authors that I've become very close to with Jim and John and Sharon, it's because I love their body of work and it complements the people. Look, if Greg's gonna write something in a book and you read that book and it changes your life and you see him and you say, this is exactly how your book changed my life, he's gonna be interested. Most people try to be interesting and it pushes people away. So your mentors can be any level, but to Greg's point, that's why on that list of things that you write down that you did wrong, look, those things you did wrong are weaknesses. They're blind spots. You didn't have the experience. You didn't have the wisdom. You didn't have the knowledge. You didn't stretch your thinking enough to understand. If it's leadership, you read 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership and you understand. You don't just read it, you use it. You deploy it in the business until it changes your life. You fight every day using the content, gaining the context of what these people say, and then at some point in life, when you have an opportunity, you ingratiate them, and the next thing you know, they're more than happy to be your mentor because they appreciate that you appreciated and found success with their life's work.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to plus that. First of all, brilliant, what you just said. And, you know, specificity is the key to access. So it seems like everyone that I know my thing, meaning don't make me work for you. I'll give you an example. If I come off stage and there's 10,000 people and you get attacked by people and say, the nicest thing, like, I want to be of contribution. How can I serve you? How can I be? First of all, I don't know you. And so I don't want my brain picked. I don't want to go to dinner or thing. But if someone came up with specificity, that's how you break through. And I'll give you an example. If I walked off stage and someone said, hey man, love your work. I saw on Instagram, you got 500,000 followers. I dig your memes. I make memes. Let me make you 2 free ones. Send them to your iPhone. If you like them, maybe I can do something else for you. Boom. I didn't have to critique you. I didn't have to go down to a whole interview process. And by having that specificity, you can see if there's an opportunity to make a connection. So specificity is the key.
Absolutely. And in fact, since you one-upped me, I'm going to one-up you. Literally, Greg, I started digesting 10X rules, sell or be sold, and just Natalie and I, Elena and Grant, we just got into their body of work. We watched everything, went to GrowthCon last year, walked up to him, was getting ready to take a picture. I stuck my hand out and I said, hey, Grant, if I could show you a way you and I could make a couple of extra billions together, would you find 15 minutes to look at it? And he looked at me and he stepped back and he looked me in the face and he goes, that's a big question. I said, well, the better question is, what's the right answer? And he said, yeah, I'll give you 15 minutes. Fast forward, we're business partners at Cardone Ventures.
That's spectacular. That's spectacular.
Stacy, thanks so much again. We appreciate you joining 10X Owners Live. Greg, it's funny, you mentioned that this value for this package, this offer is so awesome. And you can't believe the price that we're giving it away. The truth is I have to force Brandon to put prices on these products because he just wants to help business owners so much and he enjoys seeing them succeed. He enjoys pulling them out of that place and watching them grow. That we have to put a price on these. We do have a team here. We do have a business that we're running, and you know, the entire team enjoys it as well. I do want to ask a question in the chat really quickly. If you are a business or a business owner that is not in one of our programs, can you just say me or yes? That's you. I want you to comment right now in the Zoom comments If you do not have any of our products, if you are not enrolled in employee, owner, scale up, if you've never done a 360, if you have not worked with Cardone Ventures and you're a business that's in struggle, I want you to comment in the section right now. We're gonna go to David. We're wrapping up here. We got about 10 minutes left here, David. And thanks again to Dr. Greg and Brandon for taking time to answer these questions. David, you wanna ask a question about higher lids tonight?
Yeah, so I know that there's a lot of talent out there. There's people with high lid, maybe even people with higher lid than me. And I was wondering, is there a way to try to capture or take advantage of that right now?
Yeah, so Greg, to fill you in, so as you know, John Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws. First law is law of the lid. What I've done is creating an operating system that there's 3 lids. There's the belief lid, the operational effectiveness lid, the me and we leadership lid, and then teach people how to elevate their belief by finding more success and reinforcing that belief. Then learning to first lead themselves to make the behavioral mind shift changes to do that, and then taking that skill set and teaching others. And when all that's operating synergistically and efficiently, and more people are in that cycle of development, the business grows and scales because more people are doing actionable things with more awareness and understanding and leadership engagement of team members in order to propel the businesses forward. So when he uses lid in that context, he's using it in belief, operational effectiveness, and leadership.
That's absolutely fantastic. Hi, David.
Hi.
Thanks for jumping on. It was absolutely fantastic. And you look, I think we need, I know this is going to sound crazy, like right this second, another book or, another speech, like a hole in the head. I think it's time to be the best mentor we could be is one that we could be ourselves. And Dave, you're a smart guy. I can already tell that. So here's my answer. Go look in the mirror and be your own mentor for just 15 minutes. Because you know you more than I do just walking onto this set. It's the same thing than the next person. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your fears, you know what you want, you know your goals. So why not just sit back and step in the bathroom mirror and lock the door and say, hey, David, knucklehead, this is what the shit you need to be doing. And be your mentor, be your own guy for a little bit, and understand this, that you, just like Les Brown says, that we've got greatness inside of us, but it's time to start bringing it out to the world. And the way we do that is to get a little bit selfish, like Les Brown says. That means that we need to start focusing on filling our own cup first so we can feed the world with what flows over. We always are taking care of our family, our friends, our peers, our coworkers, and that's cool because you're a leader. But it's literally time to draw a line in the sand and say, it's my turn. I've got that idea for a book or a business or entrepreneurial spirit. I will not take it to my grave. You've got something right now that you've been sitting on and you know your strengths and weaknesses. Go look in the mirror, give yourself the feedback, and then apply that wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah, to elevate lids, you have to elevate your own lid first. So, you depending on where in belief, if you have a high belief and you're struggling to succeed, then you got to move to operational effectiveness and really understand the operating discipline and process in order to find success. So it's like if you're struggling with making outbound sales calls or acquiring new customers, you're not going to hire somebody to do that for you. You're going to hire them, you're going to put them on Cardone U, and you're going to sit with them 100 times over and over and over and develop them, and then they're ready to go. And then you move to the next thing and the next thing. And you make it a point to elevate everyone else's lids around you by first working on yourself, so people go, aha, if he's willing to do it, I'm willing to do it, because the whole point in leadership is making other people's success easy. And if you master that, then your success will be magnified, amplified, and even easier. I think we have a drum roll.
That's right, big guest. We have a big guest coming up next Tuesday. Greg, thank you so much for joining, buddy. It was great having you on.
Really appreciate it, Greg. Love to collaborate with you as well.
Thank you. And I know people are going to first person call in and sign up to get a one-on-one with you. I'm going to plus that also. I will put together a personal success library of all the best-selling books that I've been part of in the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And I will also send it to you to give to that person who signs up.
That's
Thanks
amazing.
for having me on.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Very
really
cool,
appreciate
Greg.
it.
Thank you.
Really
Don't forget
appreciate
3 Feet from Gold, 10-year anniversary. Greg, Dr. Greg, thank you so much. We appreciate you being on. Big guest next week If you are with us for 10X Owners Live next Tuesday, hit that drum roll and let's see who it is. Hit the clip, man. Tim Grover next week. Who is Tim Grover? Let's find out.
My name is Tim Grover. I worked with Michael Jordan for 15 years. Everyone knows me as his trainer, but my official title was a sports enhancement specialist. If you walk into a gym and I've worked with you for 2 weeks, you're not my client. If I passed you a ball for 1 day and I shot video of you, you're not my client. I define a client of mine who's worked with me for numerous years. Scottie Pippen, numerous years. Charles Barkley, numerous years. Hakeem Olajuwon, numerous years. Michael Jordan, numerous years. Kobe Bryant, numerous years. Dwayne Wade, numerous years. I mean, those are the top individuals. I have others that have had successful careers. I've always been a basketball buff, so I actually did my thesis on strength and conditioning for basketball players.
For next Tuesday, Tim Grover is going to be joining 10X Owners Live. It's going to be a big show, Brandon.
It is. You know, what I'm excited about Tim is he is all about performance. Look at the athletes that he has helped develop to be the absolute top of their game. And I've spent some time with Tim. He's very close to Grant. You talk about a guy that knows how to get it done and how to condition your thinking and condition your body in order to be in that granular moment that's going to differentiate you from everyone else and help you become the absolute best star at whatever you're doing. Look, on that offer that we offered for $49.95, do you guys want to pop that back up? I just want to express to everybody that scale-up program was $10,000 at GrowthCon, but Grant called me and said, we need to help people now. So I reduced it down to $49.95. It does not come with a one-day workshop, but it does come with every single week for 12 weeks. I'm doing a call with just the people in that workshop, teaching them the things that they learned and how to directly apply it to the business. Then the round table are all the people that have spent $50,000 to $250,000 with us in the last year that we've been helping them grow and scale their business. Anybody that spends any money with us gets invited to participate in that roundtable. And why that's unique is last week I answered 62 questions. So anybody that's in that roundtable that has any business question, I take the question, I shoot a video, and I post it into that private community. So when you're in that private community, there's 60, 70, 80 things people in business that are your peers are dealing with in real time right now. And I've recorded responses of exactly how to work and deal with those things. So having access to not only me, but my team, because from finance, Mike Halloran's answering them. That's why people are getting their PPP applications and moving fast, because I have $1 billion CFO that knows how to run businesses and knows how to get things done. Marketing, I've got Buck. Buck's a CMO that ran the largest agencies in the world, global partnerships. If it's sales, I'm business partners with Grant Cardone, for goodness sakes. You don't think I can get your sales answer and get the best answer in the world? Natalie for people. Natalie for operations. Heather for people. We have an in-depth team that are here to serve anybody and everybody that chooses to find their way into this circle. And I'll tell you what, I had 10 or 12 one-on-ones last week. My coaching clients paid me $100,000, and that's 12 one-hour visits and 1 full-day visit. I have a bunch of people in that program. Here's the deal. If you want a half-hour private coaching call with me, we said the first person that calls in, but I will do it for the first 5 people that call in off this show, because if you have $5,000 to spend or $5 million to spend, if you're interested enough to learn from me and your desire is to learn from somebody who's been there and is willing to commit my time to you, then I will commit that time to you, and you get to take advantage of all of our programs. And the other thing is, any money you spend with us right now, you can roll into our 10X 360 program, or you can roll it into our platform program. So any money you spend, should you go deeper with us, you will not lose the money that you spent. And of course, we're going to include Cardone U with that for this, I think it's what, 90 days?
That's right, 90 days.
90 days. So, and we'll teach you the strategies to use it. And if you have a team, we'll teach you how to teach your team so you can be prepared for the rebound, because if you do this right and you use this information right, you are going to dominate and conquer when you're ready to go back to work, because you're going to have the tools that you need, the leadership skills that you need, and you're going to have the belief that you can do it, because we're going to give you the resources in order to follow the plan to not only win, but to crush it on the rebound.
That's right. I want to mention a few things real quick. One, Brandon's dedicated. The entire team is dedicated. The question is, are you going to be dedicated to your own goals? Are you going to be dedicated to your own belief? Are you going to be the dedicated person who takes the appropriate steps to surround yourself with people who can give you the education, information, and inspiration that you need? And so, Abby, I saw that you're ready. I watched your comment come through. Abby, here's the phone number one more time, Abby. I want to see you call Josh right now, 503-383-9077. He just stepped out. He's taking calls right now.
They can text him too.
But you could text that number, Abby, 503-383-9077. Become a part of the Cardone Ventures family. Get access to all of this wonderful, valuable information. Get that direct roundtable access. Get all of your questions answered. Do you want to take one more look at the drone before we leave?
I don't think it's up.
No? Did we take it down?
Is the drone up?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's take a look at that drone. I love that.
You want people to want to win? No? Is that the drone? Where's the drone? Here we go. There it is.
There it is. Oh my gosh, look how cool that looks.
It's beautiful. There we go. Right over the top of Dawson Ridge. All right, cool. Calls continue to come in. Thank you guys so much. Another 10X Owners Live is a big success. Thank you to Dr. Gregory Reed. We really appreciate you joining us. Lots of valuable information.
Grant Cardone.
Next week, thank you, Grant, for making the appearance. We love you, Grant, as always. It's always great when he comes in and gives us his wisdom. Next week, Tim Grover. Excited for that. You know, I think it would be great if Grant would come on. We get Tim, you guys. It'd be just another dream team.
There you go.
Very cool.
Awesome.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining 10X Owners Live.
With everything that's going on right now, with all the disruptions in everybody's lives, two things are going to happen. You're either going to have more time or you're going to have less time, but you're still going to have time. How you use that time now is going to determine where you're going to be after this is over. How do you plan on using this time? Are you going to use it to get more intelligent? Are you going to use it to get stuff done that you didn't have time before? Are you going to say, I don't have enough time? We all have the same amount of time in that day.